Are we back in the NFT bull market? We've seen Valhalla pump, we've seen Juuni pump, and we've also seen KPR Verse pump. Now my boy Crypto Gorilla has actually put out a tweet, and this is the sentiment. Basically, KPR Verse 0.16 to 0.26, Juuni 0.22 to 0.38. That's actually close to half an ETH now. Valhalla 0.4 to 1.2. That's actually kind of a 1.5, and then Cock Punch 0.5 to 0.8. If you're not following Crypto Gorilla, I'm pretty sure you are. Make sure you follow him. Also, I'll link his channel up here. If you're not subbed to him, I'm pretty sure you are. Go sub to him. Great quality NFT content. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to jump in and have a look at these projects and get a bit of an insight. So first up is Valhalla, and the floor price right now is 1.5. And what you can actually notice here is this has gone up after reveal. Now, the floor traits are female traits, and then you've got some male traits there. And then ones with weapons are also a little bit higher because there is a chance to actually re-roll on some of those weapons. So please take that into account. Now, the reason why we're starting off with Valhalla is it has topped the charts with 1,000 ETH worth of volume over the last 24 hours, and it's essentially double what the apes are, and they're usually at the top of the list. Now, the software that I'm using is Nansen. I'll have a link for Nansen up here so you can watch a tutorial, and also a link for Nansen down below. I love this tool. If you use down below, it is an affiliate link, so please kind of be aware that it's an affiliate link, so I'll get a kickback if you end up using it, but I think they've got a free option or a trial option, so definitely check that out. So when we're having a look at Nansen, the crazy thing about this is, and I touched on this in a video yesterday, and the fact is we're getting lower lows and lower highs. So the fact is the lows are just going up and the highs are also going up, and we're kind of getting to some higher highs. Now, I think this is great. This is almost what you want to see in a chart. It's insane. It's great. It's awesome. And then having a look at a deeper dive into it, because that was the average price. The same kind of look here, we're essentially just seeing a straight line up. Now, something that I am noticing is we did kind of, this is the average price, hit that sort of 1.5 average to kind of floor price, and then we've dipped back down, and then we've gone back up and we hit this 1.5. So at the moment, there is a resistance at this 1.5 mark. But what is crazy, and I'll actually drop the extreme outliers, is people are buying what they want. So we are seeing some big rares, sales, things like that. So people are buying just the traits that they want and those rare ones. But then there is also a very thick amount of purchasing above the floor. So people aren't necessarily just buying the floor to gonna flip. People are actually buying things that they like. And I think this shows the people who dig the art and they really like moving forward with the actual project and have a little bit more conviction when it comes down to that. Now, what I'm going to do right now is show you what the top holders are actually holding in this space. And you can see here, we've got some big whales. You've essentially got sort of the top 25. So Dingling's got 35. And then, yeah, you'll notice some of the names here. And essentially, you've got some big whales within this project. And the fact that we're kind of sitting at the at like a 1.5 ETH floor, we've got some big values. So you've got like 300 ETH worth of value, and essentially the top 10, they've got at least got 100 ETH worth of value within the project, which I think is crazy. And to kind of just show you the insane aspect is the profit leaderboard. The top profit takers, the top 15, they cap out at sort of 7.3 ETH. So a lot of them, a lot of these top sellers haven't made stupid, crazy, insane amounts of money, which is fine. So it shows you that there's a bit of runway. I'm not saying 21 ETH isn't huge, but the fact is, like, the top profit takers are at 7, like at around that kind of 7 ETH mark. But what is also interesting, and I'll clear this up for you, is we have NFTs bought and then NFTs sold. Now, when you have people that end up, like this top profit taker, buying 17, selling 15, still holding 2, still in the game. We can see number 3, bought 10, sold 7, still in the game. You can see still in the game, still in the game. We've got a lot of these people still in the game. Now, what this means, it means that those top profit takers still kind of want to ride the project out. And this is why I'm also an advocate of projects that do let you mint more than one, because it lets people take profits but still kind of ride the project to a higher high. So the reason that I like this is the fact that you've got people that are taking profits but still have belief in the project. They're not selling everything out. They're holding on to let it run and see where it goes. And I think that is very important. Now, I think a really good, interesting metric to look at are what the holders are actually holding. So the related collections. And in Nansen, let me clean it up for you. You have this very cool section, which is the related collections section. And you can see what the people are also holding. Now, some of them here look all right, but the ones I want to point out is that you've actually got a series of people. So you've got sort of 10% of people holding KPR, which is a very, so that's what's kind of pumping currently. You've got 11 people holding beans. So you've essentially got the Azuki fam in there. Then you've also got the Azuki, which is around the 8%. And then you've also got Juuni at around 6%. Now, the reason that I want to bring some of these up is that with something like Juuni, you've got that kind of pumping currently. You've also got KPR pumping currently, but then you've also got some big holders when it comes to Azuki that are also holders within the project. Now, the reason that I think this stat is good for people that are looking at and exploring something like Valhalla is it gives them a chance to know what other holders are within that project and what projects they're in, so they can see if it lines with their values when it comes down to a pump or a run in that fashion. Now, look, next up we're going to touch on real quick is Juuni, and their sort of floor price is currently sitting at a 0.51 or sort of 0.52. So they're doing quite well. And the fact is this is just running up strength to strength as well, unrevealed. So there is that kind of catalyst that can be kind of thrown into the mix. But when we actually have a look at the pricing and the stats, what I think is interesting is we seem to hit that base at around that 0.2, which was the whitelist mint mark. But then after that, we've seen the higher lows come in, and then we've also seen the higher highs come in. And I think that's very important. At the moment, the US is asleep. So I think we still need to hold out for when they wake up to see what action happens, because they can essentially see the profit and want to take it. But the fact there has been a little bit of a pump gives a little bit of confidence when it comes down to bull run fever back into the market. And here is a look at the actual pricing itself. Now, there won't be anything above the floor apart from this guy for some reason. Because it is unrevealed and they're all kind of essentially the same price, same kind of deal. When we have a look at what's been going on, it is just a run up. If Juuni does continue to run up, similar to what we saw with Valhalla, like I saw previously, you can then get an idea of where it could actually run to. When we get to the top balances, so the people that are actually holding the top amount, we can see here that Juuni have their sort of essentially their marketing wallet right up the top here. You can see it says Juuni multi-sig, so that'd be their kind of marketing wallet, holding wallet right there. Then you've got a huge holder here with 110, and then the top kind of rollout, almost similar to what Valhalla had. And just so you can have a look, this top holder that has the 110, they also hold an ape. They've got Juuni, they've got a mutant ape, they've got Valhalla, so they've got a few other things. It almost looks like they are holding one of each. So it looks like it's kind of some kind of vault or DAO that looks like they've put some of these on the books, and that's the way that I interpret that wallet. Now, look, checking out the profit leaderboard really quick, we can see here that there is a top profit taker of 4.5. Then after that, the top 10 round out at underneath 1 ETH. Now, having a look over here where it is the NFTs bought and sold, we can see that the top holder still in the project, second holder still in the project, third still in, fourth still in, and then you've got still in. The idea here is that you've got a lot of these people right here that have made some profits but are still in the project and they still see some value. It reflects, and it's similar to Valhalla. Now, I'm not trying to convince you that Juuni is going to pump like Valhalla. Full disclosure, I'm not holding any of these, but just pointing out some of these key metrics may make it easier for you to determine what may actually happen, just so you can kind of do your own research, weigh it up, stack it up, so you can actually make those good decisions when it comes to moving in and out of projects, because I think the best information that you can have will actually ensure that you are a better trader. Then when we get to the related communities, we can see KPR and Valhalla, they are in there. So we can see a very similar set of people kind of pumping and running through at the moment when it comes down to holders of kind of pumps. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to follow the Valhalla pump, but when you start to see a mixture of these holders all in the same projects, it shows you that a lot of these people may have some kind of conviction and want to move within a particular project so it can then run forward. Now we're going to have a look at KPR just to see what they're doing. They're not having as much of a run. That is a look at the art. And then when you have a look at the price and the stats, what we can see here is that it did kind of pop out, have that run. After reveal, it's dropped down and looked like it hit that kind of floor at that 0.2, but it's starting to have a bit of an uptick. It has been out since the sort of 5th or 6th of November. So it has been out for a while. So that's why we're not seeing as crazy of action, but you can see that right now there is this manic crazy phase where people don't want to miss out on a pump. And you can see that it is kind of just putting in some great numbers. I would like to see what happens when the US wakes up if there are some profit takers. But the idea here is I think this has a little bit more potential to run up, continue to run a little bit more until we hit some of these previous levels right here where we kind of had the average price at around that 0.43, so around that 0.5, and which was also, I'll point it out for you here was the previous resistance, but then you also had that sort of support and resistance around that 0.4 to 0.5. So I think that could come into play if some psychological barriers are hit with people wanting to offload at the point that they may be kind of aped into previously. So that is a look at some of the projects that are currently hitting a bit of a pump, bit of a run at the moment, and to kind of give you a look under the hood so you can then determine if these are projects that you want to move into, move out of, or then kind of bounce around. Some of the hot alpha that I would give you is it looks like the application meta is in full swing because these projects are kind of having a rip and a bit of a run. So I would assume that they are going to, and by they I mean projects, will continue to be running with applications. So please keep that in mind, polish up those applications. Also, it does give you an indication that projects can run a few days afterwards. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a quick mint and flip and an arbitrage opportunity. And it may be a little bit more time before you can actually kind of jump in and actually make that really good play. So you may have to run with some conviction before you actually kind of make those big rips. One thing that I would like to impart in you is the fact that we are seeing anime style things kind of popping back off with these applications. So please keep an eye out on those applications that could be related to anything anime based that may actually get a little bit of FOMO from the rest of the general public when it comes to projects, and you may be able to catch some wind and maybe make a little bit of money. Hopefully you found value in this video. If you did, please consider hitting up that subscribe button, and while you're down there, also hit up the like button. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.